Kikariki! And hello everybody to the day 5 of the Holo-Ian Advent Calendar! Yay, 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 yay! Well, for me it's still the 4th of December, a Sunday, the second Sunday since the whole Advent wreath thing. So I want to light a candle with you guys, and then I'm going to read you a lovely Christmas story. So, as you may remember, I made this whole thing in a stream, in a handcam stream, by myself from scratch. Yeah. So now every Sunday until Christmas, I have to light the candles. On the first Sunday. Oh. Wait, I'm bad at this. On the first Sunday, we lit the first candle. And now, on the second Sunday, we're lighting the second candle. Yatta! So now, while we're looking at my beautiful Advent wreath, let me tell you the story of... This will be a long video, by the way. A little bit. The story of the elves and the shoemaker. Maybe you already know it, heard about it before. It's a Grimm's fairy tale. I used to read Grimm's fairy tales as a series on my channel in German, but I'm reading it in English this time. Alright, let's go. There once was a shoemaker who, from no fault of his own, had become so poor that at last he had nothing left but just sufficient leather for one pair of shoes. In the evening, he cut out the leather, intending to make it up in the morning, and as he had a good conscience, he lay quietly down to sleep, first commending himself to God. In the morning he said his prayers, and went down to begin his usual work. But, behold, the shoes were already made, and stood upon his board. The man was amazed, and knew not what to think, but he took the shoes into his hand to look at them more closely. And they were so neatly worked that not a stitch was wrong, just as if they had been made for a prize. Surely, said he, in a tone of wonder, it must have been a master craftsman who made these. I do not know a shoemaker in the world who could have made them so beautifully. Presently a customer came in, and as the shoes pleased him very much, he paid down much more than usual, and so much indeed that the shoemaker was able to buy with it leather for 2 pairs. By the evening he had got his leather shaped out, and when he arose the next morning he prepared to work with fresh spirit. But there was no need, for the shoes stood all perfect on his board. He did not want either for customers, for 2 came who paid him so liberally for these shoes that he bought with the money material for 4 pairs more. These also, which he cut out during the evening, he found already made when he awoke, and so it continued. What he cut out overnight was, in the morning, turned into the neatest shoes possible. This went on for months. More and more people came to the shop to buy the shoes which his unknown friends made so well, and those who bought were so pleased with their purchase that they told everyone else. Never had a shoemaker and his wife been so busy. Not only did the lucky man regain his former position, but he became more and more prosperous. One evening, not long before Christmas, as he had cut out the usual quantity, he said to his wife before going to bed, "What say you to stopping up this night to see who is it that helps us so kindly?" His wife was satisfied to do as he wished, and fastened up a light, and then they hid themselves in a corner of the room, where hung some clothes which concealed them. As soon as it was midnight, in came 2 little mannikins, who squatted down on the board, and taking up the prepared work, set to with their little fingers, stitching and sewing and hammering so swiftly and lightly that the shoemaker could not take his eyes off of them for astonishment. He had never seen work done so quickly before. They did not cease until all was brought to an end, and the shoes stood ready on the table, and then they sprang quickly away. The following morning the wife said to the shoemaker, The kind little men have made us rich, and we must show our gratitude to them, for although they run about, they must be cold, since they have nothing to cover their bodies in this winter weather. I will make a little shirt, coat, waistcoat, trousers, and stockings for each. And do you make a pair of shoes for the very nicest for each. The husband very gladly agreed to do this, and one evening, when they had got everything ready, he and his wife laid their presents, instead of the usual work, on the board and hid themselves to see the result. At midnight in came the elves, jumping about and soon prepared to begin their work. But when they saw no letter, only the natty little clothes, they at first were astonished, but soon showed their pleasure and glee. They drew on their coats and smoothed them down, and sang, "Smart and natty boys are we, cobblers will no longer be." And so they went on hopping and jumping over the stools and chairs, and at last out at the door. After that evening, they did not come again, but the shoemaker prospered in all he undertook, and lived happily to the end of his days. The end. Thank you for watching this day too. Yeah. Don't worry, I will not be here every fourth day. It just so happened that I needed to fill up this day. I hope you're enjoying the advent calendar so far. Don't forget to check by tomorrow, and don't forget to tweet out with the hashtag HoloEN Advent.